Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Millionaire Mind. My name is Turife. Now, we have a culture in our country where we work very hard from January to November. And then in December, it is time to thank ourselves. And most times, 9 times out of 10, we are very inclined to not think about investment options or saving options or what to do with our money. Today on our show, we have Linda Gitau, who is a property manager or a property strategist. What was the term you used?
Well, I call myself the property expert.
Yes, property expert, yes.
Yes, so...
Yes. And she's going to be telling us what to do with our money, especially when it comes to real estate. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. So my name is Linda Gitau.
Yes.
And I'm the founder of the Property Expert Kenya.
Yes.
So our company encompasses on all facets of property, whether it's commercial sales and leasing, to residential property sales and leasing, and land sales.
Yeah.
So we're currently in 2 countries, Kenya and South Africa. I lived in South Africa for over 17 years, so I understand the environment.
Yeah.
And I'm a Kenyan, so yes. So we're bringing you, well, our aim for the new year is to go into more countries,
Yeah.
especially in Africa,
Yeah.
because the demand is definitely there. The
Yeah.
investor confidence for investing in Kenya is on an all-time high.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get into, real estate and being a property expert? Is this something you go to school for, or did you just find a gap in the market and you're like, you know what, I think I have a solution for what is happening here?
Well, I found a gap in the market. I must tell you, I've been in technology sales for over 10 years. And I lived in South Africa for obviously those many years. So when I came to Kenya, I found a bit of a challenge trying to find accommodation,
Yeah.
long-term accommodation.
Yeah.
At the time when I came, Airbnb had just started. So I jumped into that market where I got a couple of properties.
Yeah.
But then I found myself not being too courageous enough to go on my own. So I found
Yeah.
myself working for another technology company in Kenya. But I was very unhappy because
Yeah.
I knew that my time in tech was expired.
Yeah.
So in 2019, that's when I started the Property Expert Kenya.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit us the following year.
Yes.
Yeah, so we took a serious dive.
Yeah.
But I must say that this 2022 has been an incredible year for us.
Okay.
Yes.
So how exactly was the impact of COVID on your business? I'm thinking people stopped buying houses or looking, or people could no longer afford maybe the lease. Maybe you could also explain how the lease arrangement works and how that was now impacted by COVID.
Oh yeah, investment went down because a lot of people weren't confident whether we were going to come out of COVID.
Yeah.
We also had elections coming up. So, you don't want to tie 10 million, 18 million on a property, not knowing where the world is ending. Is it really?
Yes.
So a lot of investors were shy to invest. And of course, the new investors were not discussing
True.
investment property. So I found myself with 2 properties that had remained empty for a long time, and I was paying rent for them because they were meant for furnished Airbnb.
Yes.
And I had to give up one, and I really stuck on one because even in COVID, I had some clients coming into Kenya.
Yes.
Somehow I convinced them
Yeah.
to come and, and look for investment opportunities where we could build a factory. At the time, in 2020, I had a Turkish company looking to build a solar plant in Nakuru. So things were happening, but not that
Not
fast.
as how you're used to.
Yes.
Okay.
So we did take a serious dive. We went into a lot of financial distress
Yeah.
because, the income was not coming in. So we found ourselves spending more than we were earning,
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that we are out of that space now. Yeah.
So for someone like me who knows absolutely nothing about real estate and properties, when somebody mentions, properties, all I'm thinking is a house that you can live in or a house that you can rent. But you have also mentioned factories and, other places of business. So how exactly would you, what is covered by your business when it comes to properties?
Okay, so that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And I think because I market a lot on social media, a lot of people see a lot of high-end property and shy away from calling me to ask me about an apartment or a land in Ruta or something, because they think, oh, this one, she only does Riverside, Lavington, and that's not true. For us, we'll meet you at your budget need, where your finances meet you. So if you came to me today and said, hey Linda, this is my budget, 5 million. I'm not looking for a place to stay, I'm looking for a return on investment. Perhaps rental return. Where do you think I can invest? There's plenty of opportunities such as those. I have clients who are in the diaspora who don't understand our market. So I'm tasked with helping them navigate what is the right project or portfolio to invest in. Is it going to give you a good return? How long is the ROI? Is it safe? Are the developers credible? Because our market is, you know the stories, and there are many, you know, people have been duped, people have lost millions and millions of...
And even trusting families to, you know, get your property for you.
But now, so what sets us apart as the property expert, we partner with credible developers in the market. I can assure you, every project that I go to, I know the developer, I know what kind of work they've done before. They'll most likely have been in Kenya for over 5 years, and these are people that I can vouch for that they have completed the projects on time. So I would never take you to a developer who has had a bad reputation, because you see, this business relies on trust. Because, you know, we have unscrupulous dealers, unfortunately.
And very many negative stories.
Of
fundis and everything, and
fundis. Developers. You go to a company, you buy land, kesho unaambiwa it was never there.
It was never there to be sold.
Exactly. So our business relies on a lot of trust. So my job is to go out there in the market and just make sure that whoever I'm bringing to my client, that this person is credible, but also whoever I'm taking to the developer, that is also a good buyer, because you find people who would pay a 20% deposit and then disappear, and then it becomes a court case. Nobody wants to do that. You know, people want to deal with, you know, clients and associates that are straightforward.
And speaking of, you know, clients and everything, yes, you do have reliable and people you can trust for these projects, you know, developers and everything. However, do you vet your clients before you bring them on? Before you say, okay, yes, we can work together. Do you vet them beforehand?
I actually do. It's really an emotional intelligence, as much as there are mechanisms perhaps that have been put in place where I can use LinkedIn, I can use the social media.
Or your credit history or something.
You can use the credit history. True, sometimes I do. But a lot of the times I want to meet my client face to face. I want to hear where the conversation is going. There's a lot of times where I get, and I really don't mind when people waste my time, where someone is really just wanting to come and look at this villa and copy to go and build in Ushago or whatever. So they'll come in the pretense of that they want to buy a villa or buy a house or buy an apartment. But there are certain questions that I would ask, and I will know that it's definitely not a buyer. And at that point, then I'll ask, are you looking for designs, ideas? I really don't mind showing you. However, it's good to know prior, because I also have a busy schedule. You know. And then there are also people who come to us in the pretense of buying what they're trying to launder money. Of course, you don't want to be in a position where you are in a battle with government, you know what I mean? So the vetting is extremely important for both sides. I vet my developers and I also vet my clients. Yes.
And how long have you been in the industry now?
Now it's 3 years. It's going to 3 years now. So I came to Kenya 8 years ago. The challenges that I've experienced with the housing situation have been ongoing, because I've helped, you know, I also run I helped to run the Chamber of Business, Kenya South Africa Chamber of Business. So that need, I picked it up a long time ago, and I continued to serve my friends, but not from a professional perspective, from a just, hi Linda, I'm looking for a house, can you help me? Only 3 years ago, then I decided to register the company and go professional.
You have branded yourself as a property expert, but I think the more familiar term that we usually hear of is real estate agent.
Yes.
So what is the difference between those two, and how do you describe that?
There is none.
Yeah.
I am a property agent. I only call myself a property expert because I'm positive, affirming that I will be a property expert in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I want to be the go-to person when someone is thinking on investing in Kenya, that they think of Linda.
Yeah.
If they're thinking of buying in Malindi, they're thinking about me. If you're in Kenya here and you ask me, how's the property market in Cape Town like?
Yeah.
I'm able to guide you and show you. So there isn't much difference. It's really the same. I'm a property
So how
agent.
exactly would you describe, you know, what a real estate agent does? What do they actually do?
Oh, okay. So what we do is we help clients find good homes. If you're looking for a home, if you're a seasoned investor looking to widen your portfolio, if you're a newbie, if you're a new investor looking to buy your first investment,
Yeah.
or if your company looking, either you're coming from outside the country looking to establish yourself in Kenya, or you're in Kenya and looking to expand or downsize,
Yeah.
that's what we do. So you come to me, you give me your needs, I do a need analysis to find out, okay, you know, where do you like to live, what factors are important to you,
Yeah,
what
schools
amenities,
and
schools,
everything,
yes,
yeah.
amenities, you want a gym, a pool, are you single,
Yeah.
are there children, you know, closeness to the malls, if it's a business, what other businesses do you want to be around, do you want to be around your competitors, do you want to be around your clients,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
And have you had the encounter of where some people really embellish their words, you know? You put out a property and it's deep in the forest somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you say, close proximity to this and this mall. So have you had such an instance? And why do real estate agents do that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot
I
today.
know. It's a marketing style that
Gimmick,
I'm
yeah.
not particularly a fan of.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of that style. Is because most of the business are referral business for
Yes.
me. So most of the time, if you are coming to the property expert, it means you've been sent by someone you
Yes.
know and trust. So if you come to me and well, if you go back to the person who sent you to me and tell them, oh no, Linda said this property was here and then it was all the way there, that's a very bad, you know, it's very bad feedback for me. So I'll always give you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I started, perhaps I fell into the trap like
Yes.
everybody else
Yeah.
of saying, oh, I know I was selling this property in Garden City and I said town is just 15 minutes and
Yeah.
then I don't know where it's just 5 minutes. Of course it's not true because we
Yeah.
have a lot of traffic and
True.
just a lot of incidences that may happen on the road. But now it's extremely important for me to tell you, if you're looking for a cheap product, you're going to pay somehow. Either
Yeah.
you'll pay in the distance you'll take to get to work from home because you're
Yes.
going to be a little bit far, like Kiambu Road, for instance. If you want a villa in Lavington, then you know that your price
It's
point has to
expensive,
go up.
yeah.
Yeah. So at least
Okay.
they make an informed decision. Yes.
And what is unique about what you do?
Oh wow! For me, it's so personal. You
Yeah.
know, it's buying a home is such an emotional decision.
Yes.
And even buying an investment, think about it. Even if you were buying shares today and there were 100,000, you'll think and think and think and call someone to.
Yeah, this is your blood, sweat, and tears being put into something.
You know,
Yeah.
so I take that really personally. I have a client, a recent client whose husband recently passed away. So she has to, one, change her environment. She has to move homes, but also buy a home because you see, life teaches, you see, death is inevitable.
Yes.
But human beings, and especially Africans, we don't like talking or thinking about it because we always think that we're immortal.
Yes. We'll deal with it when we get there.
You know what I mean? But now you're faced with a real life challenge that, hold up, there's only one parent left. There's 3 children.
Yeah.
How do we secure
Yeah.
the children? So you have to get a home. So this is a person I must walk very carefully that she makes the right decision, that the home is fit for herself, the home is fit for her children, that she makes a good decision, that even when she decides to leave the country, that the property will give her a good ROI.
True.
Yeah, so it's very personal for me.
And do you work alone? Is it a one-man show, or do you have a team with you?
I have a team. I have 2 assistants that I work with, and I also have an agent in South Africa.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to have more agents. We have an agent in Holland who's coming on board soon.
True.
And I'm hoping to really go into the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're here for it. This
Small
is
team, but it works.
Yeah, it's impactful.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about listing a property.
Right.
How does that go about? What is the process of listing a property in the market? Because it sounds very fancy when you say it.
Yeah.
My property has been listed on the market. Where is this market, and how do you do that?
So there's different ways you can list your property. I'm building my own mechanisms. I know, right? I want to compete directly with, you know, my property and all the websites that exist, Buy Rent Kenya. But if you're looking to list your property, you would come to an agent like me and say, hi Linda, I want to put my house in the market.
Yes.
And I'll say, okay, can I see your home? I'd go view, because I would hate to sell something I've never seen, right?
And it's different from what is being shown.
Oh, of course, the pictures give you a difference. They glorify, most of the time they glorify the house more than, you know. So it's important for me to see, so I come and view it. I'll check what is in close proximity, shops, malls, whatever. Any paint jobs, you know, do you have solar panels, whatever, all the details, right? And then I'll put it out on all my websites. I have Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. I can go another level where I can go and pay for space on Buy Rent Kenya. I can go pay space at Gigi, and so that's usually the process. But if we find clients who want a private listing, it's the most difficult sale, because this is a client who's probably high profile, so they don't want their house all over the internet. You know? So that way I have to rely on my internal networks. So I'll send you the photographs, and
like
I'll tell
personally to a specific person.
Yes, and I'll say this house cannot be on social media, however it's up for sale. Please circulate it in your groups. So we have plenty of groups on WhatsApp and Telegram for property. There's so many. If someone was thinking of starting to become an agent, I would suggest that they join at least 5 or 6 of those groups, because they're easier. It's an easy place to find property and also sell. Yeah.
And you know, in this day and age where we have technology and it's working for us, and it's wonderful, you cannot compare it to the environment maybe 10 or 20 years ago, especially with real estate. Now, when you list a property on the market and you think you're doing well, you've done your job, now you wait for feedback. And then somebody else goes and takes those pictures and posts them on their own and is now pretending to be selling what you're selling. Have you encountered that, and how do you deal with that? Because now it becomes a case of, you were selling this property, I've been conned, yada. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that happens. It happened this morning. I saw a property I was marketing on somebody else's page. It's very difficult to monitor what people do online, because if you find a lot of people don't even use their real names. It's a pseudo account. So who are you chasing? You know, I just always, I'm adamant in my marketing. I tell my clients, you know, this is where we're found. This is my number. There's no other number. This is the email address. If you find yourself engaging with someone outside of these contacts, then it's really at your own risk. Sometimes you find clients just as dodgy, because they're probably thinking, oh, Linda is selling this property to me at 18 million. Maybe Koi can get it to me at 17. Let me just try.
Let me try the other one.
Oh, I saw something similar. Let me just try. And maybe they go that side and they get conned, and they come back and say, no, but she was advertising the same property, the same pictures. So I just try to tell my clients as much as possible, if you're open with me and I'm open with you, we leave very little room for
another person to come in.
Yes.
So it is up to the client to do their due diligence.
Absolutely.
And figure out if they're going to be conned or not.
Conmen are always up
They're aggressive.
at 5 a.m. waiting for you
Yeah,
to
they'll
make
be
a
available.
mistake. They're available and they'll tell you all kinds of things. So another thing that is important for our viewers to know that when a deal seems too good,
Yeah, think twice.
you have to think twice about it. When you saw that similar property and it said 17 million and suddenly you see another property very similar that says 8 million, same location, it looks exactly the same,
Yeah.
something is off.
Something is off.
Yeah.
But even if you do your due diligence, there are people who have been taken to the properties,
True.
they have seen everything, and then they find out, you're not the person who you said you are.
Let me tell you a funny story. And this has happened to me twice. When I
Yeah.
first came to Kenya, I lost 160,000. I paid rent and deposit. I was
Wow.
supposed to move into some apartment in Lavington.
Yeah.
And so I thought, because in South Africa, if you're looking for a house,
Yeah.
you
It's
OLX
all online,
or
yeah.
whatever, and you find the agent, you call, you view, you pay, done. It's rarely is there any, conning in between the process. So when I came to Kenya, I thought,
It's the same case.
I didn't tell anyone.
Ulikuja Nairobi last week, but
Sikuambia mtu, I just said, I told a friend, I found this really nice apartment. I sent the photos. She says, oh, I like it. So I said, I'm about to pay for it. And then before I paid, I called her, her phone was off. I said, I don't think, so I just paid, you know. And let me tell you, that person was
Blocked
nowhere
you?
to be found. I found out that the agent and the security guards were in cahoots. Because you see, the owner of the property would leave the keys at the guard
Yeah.
for ease of showing
Yes,
the
yes.
property. So there are agents who capitalize on that. Even in today's market, even in the Airbnb market,
Yes.
when you book your client an apartment, and I made
a
that
lot.
mistake. Yeah,
Yes.
I paid up front for 10 days,
Yes.
120,000 for a furnished apartment, only to find out that the agent was a con man.
Wow.
So then I wondered, how did he get to know about that apartment, and how did he
Yes.
know the keys were there?
And show you everything.
Was the owner in cahoots as
Yeah.
well? So it's very difficult to know, and that's why I'm saying this industry, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah,